Hey there, I want you to imagine that you're playing in this position with the white pieces, and your opponent has just started launching this pawn storm attack against your king on the side. You can notice that the king is still in the center, their queen is a little bit offside, and they haven't finished the development. Yet, it is not unheard of to see that your opponents are attacking you like that prematurely, and in today's lesson I would like to teach you how you should be reacting to such flank attacks. And also, I want to give you a principle that you can rely on when you yourself are deciding to attack your opponents on the flanks. It's all really about the center stability. So the center needs to be either closed or you need to dominate the center for those flank attacks to be successful. The most scary thing that you could encounter when you're launching such pawn storm attacks on the wing is opponent creates counterplay in the center. Now, why is that? Well, as we're starting the opening, we're usually developing the pawns and the pieces to the center. So if opponent manages to find a breakthrough in the middle, they'll be creating a lot of threats as you have a lot of pieces there. Remember that flank attack will drag resources to the side, and so you don't want to be losing the central control, as this most of the time is the very essence. So the key for white in such position is not to panic and found himself counterplay in the center of the board. So a very typical move would be e4. As you can see with this move, we're creating the threat of forking, and therefore we're not giving black tempi or time to be continuing the attack on the king side. So in our game, black took on e4 and white took back, and once again, white has the threat. We want to take on d6, and black doesn't have time to continue the attack on the wing. Over here, black played bishop to b8, so it makes sense. Maybe they will be creating some batteries in the future. And white makes another initiative-like move, which is also a developing move, bishop to g5, which prevents, again, black from continuing the attack on the king side. So in this position, we had queen to c7. And I think that it's very important to develop that healthy habit. If opponents seem to blunder something, like for example, here we're attacking the knight twice, and it's only guarded once, we should ask, what kind of trap are they setting up? Because I have given this position to quite a few students, and especially at lower rankings, they typically grab the piece. So for example, they do this, and they're all excited, and then they get mated in one move. Yeah. So we have to develop this habit to do an intellectual pause when we think we're about to win something or gain a significant advantage. So as we go back in the game, white simply played g3, which is preventing right now queen from checkmating on h2. Black took the knight on e4 and continued the attack with h4. In this position, I love the white's next move, pawn to c5. This is securing a beautiful outpost for the knight on d6, which is also going to close down the diagonal for the black's queen and bishop for the rest of the game. So in the game, we had h takes g3, white gave a check, took back with the f pawn, and here black resigned. As you can see, the position is collapsing, f7 is hanging, black's attack is nowhere to be seen, black's pieces look ugly, and white is winning the game. So this happened at intermediate level, and right now I would like to show you a very beautiful example where a flank attack worked at the grandmaster game in a position that surprised me a lot. So we have here a position that looks like this. And I think that a lot of players would just automatically castle and continue the game here. The position looks pretty balanced. Nevertheless, black surprised us, and he played the move h5. So this is a clear flank attack. Now, how do you think about it? Before you play h5, you have to evaluate white's chances to create counterplay in the center. So the move that we would look at is e4. Now, what black wants to do ideally is closing the center. If we manage to close the center, then we can continue the attack on the flank against the white's king and not worry about white's counterplay in the middle of the board. After all, the pawn move to h5, it will help us to move more pieces to the king side. And so the first line that I would calculate is h5. And after e4, first I would look at d4. I want to keep the lines closed so my king is in the center. But in this position, white has the move e5. This is a fork, which we probably need to take that pawn. And after taking, we're going to lose the game because rook e1 is pinning the queen to our king. However, as we go back, black prepared here a trick. Before they close, they first play knight to g4. Now we're creating the threat against h2. If white was to take, of course, the threat of checkmate still remained because of the rook on h8. So white in the game, after knight g4, played the move g3. And now black is able to close down the center with d4, as e5 can be taken by the knight, and there are no consequences for black at all. In fact, this is a terrible move for white then. So after d4, now white plays knight e2, and black can continue the attack on the flank, as white is not able to create counterplay in the center. Really, really beautiful. And just enjoy, white quickly lost here the game. After knight f4, we had bishop g4. You could see that black is able to bring more and more attacking pieces to attack the white's king. We have probably both bishops attacking, as d3 is going to be coming. The queen and the rook will enjoy the party as well, with pawn to h4 coming at any moment. So we had takes and takes. As you can see already, the knight of blacks has this very sympathetic square on f3. The rook is joining the party as well. We had h4, and now d3, the dark square bishop of blacks, is enjoying and joining the attack as well. Here we had queen d4 threatening the pawn on e4, queen e1, now g5, threatening to open everything up. This will involve finally the rooks into the game. I have takes on g5, and knight after knight f3, white simply is resigning, as rook h2 is a mating threat, and we're also threatening the queen. So remember, when you're considering flank attacks, you should evaluate the counterplay of opponents in the center, and when your opponent is attacking you prematurely on the flank, you should see counterplay in the center of the board. If you enjoyed the class, consider hiring me as your personal online chess coach. I thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. See ya.